Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charles Advance and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things. And we see them in today. We got a fantastic show for you guys. Before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. So let's get into today's topic. So, about 5 days or so ago, we produced a topic of Shaquille O'Neal firing back at LeBron and these guys for sneak dissing him and Charles Barkley. And Shaq went off and he basically said, you know, he's not going to capitulate to these guys. You know, he's like, people calling them haters. He's like, these people calling Shaq hating. He's like, how can I be hating on you when I'm more successful than you? You're the bum. How am I hating on you? And I was like, Shaquille, you bring up an excellent point. That's a very good point, right? So Shaq wasn't backing down from any of the nonsense. So what happened? Yesterday, we got the bombshell news that the Denver Nuggets decided to part ways, not only with their head coach and Mike Malone, but also the general manager as well. Something that surprised a lot of people. A lot of people reacted to it. The overall theme that a lot of people seem to have about this is, why now? I was listening to Paul Pierce yesterday and speak. He's like, the season is over. Why don't you just stick around with him for another 2 weeks or so and then fire him if you want to fire him? Like, he's like, where's the respect here? He was like, did he really deserve to have that happen to him with 3 or 4 games left in the season, 3 games left in the season? Really? Did they have to do it that way? A lot of people had that same sentiment. So what happened? There was a segment there on, I think it was Inside the NBA, and they were discussing this. Candace Parker spoke about it. Vince Carter spoke about it. But when it came time for Shaq to discuss this, not only did he call out the firing, he took another decision. He took another chance to absolutely destroy the cupcake era of NBA players and say that these dudes, man, even with the turmoil, you guys should still be able to figure it out. Shaq ain't playing with these dudes. He is not playing with them. But before we even get into what Shaq had to say, today's video is brought to you by a sponsor, Game Time. One of the things I love the most is making unforgettable memories with family and friends. And one of the things I hate the most is overpaying for tickets only to find out that there was a better deal out there. That's one of the reasons I started using Game Time. Game Time is the easy go-to app for last-minute tickets to sports, concert, and theater events across 60+ states in the US and Canada. Game Time saves me time, money, and stress by curating only the best deals, so I'm not wasting a whole bunch of time scrolling through overpriced tickets. Game Time Picks is my favorite tool. It highlights the best value seats instantly. No more guesswork, no more wasting time. I'm really looking forward to the game coming up between the Knicks and the Cavaliers in New York on Friday. Here's what I like to do. I turn on all-in pricing so I know exactly what I'm paying for up front. I check Game Time Picks to find out the most valuable deals. And finally, I pick the ticket I want. I choose between the cheapest deal, the great deal, or the amazing deal. Once you select the ticket you want, you can use their panoramic seat view to ensure you know exactly what you're getting before you buy. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account and use redeem code CLNS for $20 off. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we want to do now is we're going to play exactly what Shaq had to say yesterday. I want you guys to listen to it in its entirety. And I'm going to come back and give you guys our thoughts. Take a listen to what Shaq had to say here.
The winningest coach in Denver won a championship. They still fall in the formula of possibly winning another championship. Despite what's going on, you want to have some type of home court advantage. Right now, they have that. And for all you idiots out there that think you have to have a smooth season to win a championship, that's false. Yeah. I can tell you that for a fact. My first one was smooth. My second one was not smooth. My third one was rough. The fourth one, we lost to Detroit, went and got another one in Miami. That was not smooth. Everything he said at the beginning was correct. Kudos to him for holding these players accountable. A lot of these guys ain't held accountable no more because, like Candace said, the money and the likes and all that. I had 2 coaches like that that held me accountable. That's why I can easily sit up here and say, I got 4. Phil Jackson got in my ass all the time. Pat Riley got in my ass all the time. And he's correct. His seating is the way it is because Murray was injured and Gordon was injured. But despite all that, despite what's going on, they still have some type of home court advantage. When we won in Miami, We were awful the whole year. We got beat by Chicago by 40. We had a meeting. We started fighting. GP and D-Wade was going at it. Me and Antoine was going at it. And then, because
we should have beat y'all, by the way.
That's right, y'all should have. But the season is about peaks and valleys, right? As long as you peak at the right time. Like, it doesn't matter what happened in the regular season. If I got home court advantage and we play pretty good at home, and I got Murray stepping up and I got Gordon stepping up, and we make it to the second round, we have a chance. So I would like to see him, if it didn't work after the year, say, Coach Malone, thank you for what you've done. To let him go now,
Shaq, but you said something
before the playoffs.
But you said something that jumps out. A locker room that's yelling loud, full of passion, that's a locker room that wants to fix things. He said nobody said anything. So to me, a quiet locker room where nobody wants to say anything, that's the scary part. And when you have a team that does not want to step up, take accountability. Jokic had a 60-point triple-double. I think, what else could this man possibly do? And so I just think that it's at a point, and I love Coach Michael Malone, but at the same time, if you're an organization, I think it's the why wait philosophy now.
Right.
Yeah, and but you don't do it now.
And that's what Shaq is saying.
Before the playoffs.
What's interesting is, and the question that we'll have to wait for the answer is, what is the benefit of doing it now? If you believe that the coach has lost the locker room, and then what he's saying is he's the winningest coach in your franchise, then you're going to make a move, give him the respect of finishing the season, unless you think that a change is going to spark it.
Yeah, but even if you do lose the locker room, it's the job of the players to step up.
Gotcha.
So you heard what Shaq had to say. What are my thoughts? I think that some people will hear what Shaq had to say and feel uncomfortable with his position, with the language that he used, and the tone that he used. I think a lot of guys will hear what Shaq said and feel like he's hating. And feel like, you're an old head, or why don't you take it easy, or just relax a little, and this and this and this. That's number one. Number two, there are some guys in media that will also disagree with Shaq. Oh, you're being too tough on these guys. You're being too tough. And what are my thoughts on this? Look, I think a few things are happening. And again, I think this is a societal issue. I think this is bigger than sports. What I think is sports is a microcosm of what's going on in society, especially as it pertains to this thing of Shaq hating on the younger players and the newer. Look, here's what I believe is what's happening. I believe that the amount of men in society that have made it their business to baby a generation of men is one of the reasons we're witnessing the collapse in the fabric of society. I believe that this thing of turning men into babies and, oh, why are you being so tough on them? Take it easy on them. Stop hating on them. I think this is the reason we are in the place that we are right now. I truly, truly believe this. And I think these men are trying to raise men to be weaklings. Emotionally. I'm not talking about physically. I'm talking about emotionally weak. Where you can't take harsh criticism. Hell, you can't take any form of... Have you noticed that any form of criticism this day is deemed as hate? Have you noticed that? If you're one of those people that feels like any form of criticism by someone older than you is hate, that means you're emotionally weak. Sorry to break it to you. You are emotionally weak. If you constantly have this mindset of they're picking on you, you're emotionally weak. I'm sorry to break it. It's just, it is what it is. Ask yourself the question, why is Shaq doing what he's doing? I believe Shaq is doing it to toughen these guys up. But you have a whole different contingency of people out there that are saying, no, take it easy on them. Stop hating on them. And the saddest part about it is a lot of them are in Shaq's age group. Or creeping up in his age group. No, you're being too rough. You're being too tough. Essentially turning them into babies. You have fathers out here going to go fight their battles for their sons when their sons are grown enough to fight it for themselves. What are we doing here? Did anybody come and slap your son? Look like the thing going on with LeBron and Stephen. Did anybody slap Bronny James? Did anybody hit Bronny James? No. These are just words. And you were over there ready to go fight. Bro, what is going on with you? And I listen to the countless amount of guys. Oh, man, you say something about my son, I'm going to turn up. I'm going to... Really? Really? You gonna turn up on everybody? Your son is incapable of hearing somebody say negative things to them and then not like and not being able to get over it, or you can't get over it, and you're now trying to put it on your son. No, it's you that cannot deal with it emotionally. Because if every little thing that is said about your kids and then you're not ready to react at that level, like, bro, and then the part that kills me is we're talking about it within the confines of the sport. This is the part I don't understand. Oh, man, if it was me, I'll go over there and I'm done. That's the problem. This is the problem. A lot of you dudes are super emotional. And when you're that emotional, you make emotional decisions that you always regret because everything is done out of emotion and sensitivity. This is one of the main problems plaguing society. This is one of the problems. I'm going to give you guys a quick example, a story of what I'm talking about. So in my family, at least on my father's side, they usually raise the boys with what you call like tough love. In this generation, they'll call it hating love. Oh, they're hating on but they raise you with tough love. And they do any little thing to use the word that they use to train you, right? There's training. It's training. Not training in the sense of discipline. No. Training in the sense of building character. There's a fundamental difference. They call it training. I'll give you guys an example. Whenever we go home in Christmas to like our village home in Nigeria, and it's not a village, but home, but y'all feel free to think whatever you want to think. But anyway, we go home and in our compound, man, we'll have anywhere from like 50 to 60 people just walk, like people all over the place. And usually what happens is the uncles, I got a lot of uncles. They, like, if they're planning an event, right? If they're throwing a party or something like that, when they're planning this event, do you know who they have in mind to be the workers? The ones doing all the work? Do you know who it is? Us. All the nephews. In some cases, the nieces will be helping, but usually the boys. Setting up canopies, doing this, doing that. In the morning, they'll tell you, go out there and please start washing these cars for us. Start washing these cars. Now, they're not doing it to pick on you. The act of washing the car and all of that is just an act of like building the muscle of working and hustling and working. Nobody's picking on you. There are many times I see my uncles call out some of my cousins. Oh, you acting like a blah, blah, blah. Call them out. Another time you see my dad calling out somebody else. Another time my uncle will call out me. Da, 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 da. Right? They'll call you out on your nonsense. Now, to other people who are emotionally weak, they'll be, oh man, my uncle hates me. Oh my God, they're hating on me. Oh my God, the uncle. And then the other ones will just be like, man, it's training. And then you find out that out of these group of cousins, there's some that can take it. Some that are not fazed by it. If their uncle says, move this thing over there, they don't feel any type of way about it. And then what happens is you start to develop the callus. And you start developing thick skin. But if you can't even have that in society today without some of these guys running around and crying, oh my God, they're hating on me. Oh my God, they're hating on me. And then the saddest part is you have the fathers that are afraid to show tough love. They're afraid to show it. They are afraid to show tough love. And what Shaq just said right there will turn off a lot of people. Oh, he's hating and all da. So if Shaq is hating, what do the men be saying to you in your life that you can deem as not hating? What are the things that they can say? We've gotten to a place where it's like a point of no return. It's like a point of no return. Anything that you say, oh man, there go the old heads again. Really? That means that there's no structure anymore in society. If the old heads are viewed as just old, angry people, where's the structure in the society? Who's leading who? Nobody's leading anybody. And what kind of function in society do you have without checks and balances, without leaders and people playing different roles? No, now everything is the Wild Wild West. And then you got these men in their 30s, late 30s, 40s, 50s that want to fit in with the young boys so bad that they're encouraging all of this nonsense. I listened to a very heated debate the other day on John Morant on Gil's Arena, and Gil was just defending the nonsense. They were just defending it like I'm like, what are we talking about here? Kenny Martin seemed to be the only adult in the room. He seemed to be the only adult in the room. It's just sad, man. It's sad. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I mean, men that used to lead and raise their kids and teach them, like, those guys are now viewed as, oh my God, get them out of here. It's pretty bad. It's good Lord. But I just think it's just another way to get men out, reduce the importance of men in society and all that. I think it's a bigger play involved here. And I think a lot of these guys are buying into it and feeding into it. That's why they get triggered by guys like Shaq. I don't. Sorry.